Okay, so we've got the forensics report. That was pretty quick. Okay, no signs of scourging, so our theory is totally wrong. Which kind of sucks because we've been spending the whole time kind of proving our theory. So it doesn't make sense that he had the sleeping pills, but as Alfendi is going to bring up, there is kind of an obvious explanation. That the culprit tried to put him to sleep but failed. And it resulted in the three being put to sleep but the other one not. So yes, the culprit would have had to use extreme violence as he was not asleep. The only thing that he really could have used to kill him with a broken neck would be the tail end of the rope. Would have had to strangle him and break his neck. Yes, of course. Perpetrator strangled Ajoni with the tail end of the rope, which caused his neck to break. And then he got set on fire. Intention was to get rid of the evidence. I suppose that makes sense. And it also sort of imitates one of the murders. Alright, so still in the realms of conjecture. The problem, really, is the fact that we don't have any suspects. So we don't have any witness statements or anything to go on, so we pretty much have to rely on the evidence. Okay, so now we have to look for a dying message left by one of the victims or a trail that a culprit left. Culprit left? Okay, so we're looking for a piece of evidence that creates a discrepancy with the rest of the facts. Now, do you guys remember at the beginning when one of the first things I examined? The inconsistency. So a trail left by a killer or the dying message left by one of the victims. Okay, so Lucy's stumped at the moment, I suppose. Okay, so Alfendi's going to give you a hint. The culprit was bound by the original 4 jigsaw puzzle killings, so he or she had to have been aware of that. So we have to look for sort of a discrepancy between the killings and the crime scene here now. Remember when I looked at Cecina's body, he had the puzzle piece crushed in his hand, and Alfendi mentioned that in the actual case, the puzzle piece was found on the victim's back. So that's kind of an inconsistency. Because if he was asleep, then how would he have just crushed the puzzle piece in his hand? Because I mean, you're not going to clench your fist in your sleep unless you're, I guess, having like a weird dream. But I wouldn't think that was happening, since I wouldn't think that would have been the case since he was dying, of course. So he's reiterating that the puzzle piece was found on the back. Bit of a mystery why it's been crushed. Why has it been crushed? So this could be the dying message that we've been looking for. And indeed it is. Oh, there's the phone. Lucy's a bit startled by that. She's a bit angry, a bit annoyed, a bit niggled, if you will. Alright, so she's going to get the phone. And oh, something's happening. What is it, Lucy? What is it? Hey, they found the missing witness! Yay! That's really good. Now we at least have somebody to talk to about this. Alright, so who is this witness? He must have a really intimidating sounding name. Attar Mystery. Attar Mystery. Game? Really? I mean, this might be the worst pun out of all of them. Come on, they didn't even try with this one, really. They just changed 2 letters. Alright, so Lucy said before that it was more than a bit sus. But I guess it's not dead sus, so a bit in between. There's no reason why you killed the mobsters that copycat of the jigsaw puzzle murders. So it's looking like that he wasn't the culprit, which is a rather unfortunate because he is the only person we got. So he's 100% certain that Attar Mystery is not the killer. 100%. Lucy with has her eyes closed. Bully for you, indeed. Whatever that means. Okay, what can we find out from Attar Mystery? My voice for him is gonna be really weird, I think. Mr. Mystery, thank you for coming in. I'm especially late. You've got me. I did it. Throw me in the cells, quick. Sounded kind of Italian. Huh? Don't be ridiculous, dude. I'm not gonna throw you in prison for a crime that you definitely did not commit. And that was a quick stay in the little interrogation room there. Arrest me! Yeah, I'm boss now, Thomas. Yous can call me Uttar if yous want. Call me Uttar. Okay. You didn't really kill him, did you? Yeah, I did. I killed a lot of them. I know it was bang on, sus and that. Oh wow, my voice is sounding like Italian or something. Clearly he's not Italian. Okay, so we're going through his course of events that happened. Alright, if he's want me to. The gaffer got an order on the phone. When he asked where it was going, it was the Johnny's gaff. Their gaff. Alright, so you haven't heard of them? Get in the penalty area of that lot and he's never coming back. Everyone around here knows that. Alright, so apparently they are well known around this place. Yeah, I suppose there would be a lot of missing people around. I told the gaffer I wasn't going to do it, but he said if you want to keep your job, he's goa. I took the delivery and I killed them all. It's kind of a weird... The way they wrote his lines, very weird, kind of hard to understand sometimes. Yeah, that's right. It was kill or be killed, you know, like. You just gotta protect yourself around here. That's why I crushed up them sleeping pills and put them into wine before I took it there. I gave it half an hour and then went back. They were all cleared by Dan, snoring like babies. I killed all 4 of them in their sleep. Well, you can see 2 inconsistencies there, of course. Number 1 is the fact that we know Ajoni was not put to sleep. So, there's that inconsistency. Only 3 of them were actually, had soporific in them. Secondly, he couldn't have put the soporific in the wine before he went there. We're going to show you why. One statement seems to contradict the facts. Statement 3 is the one you want. I'm not sure if you can use Statement 4 and Ajoni's body in this situation. I have not tried that before. But the thing that we're looking for here is the cap on the wine bottle. As if you notice when I looked at the cap before, you notice that there wasn't any soporific in the cap, which means that the soporific must have been added after the bottle was opened. So, what contradicts this statement? The wine bottle cap. Just look at the middle, look at the table, and zoom in all the way, and you'll find it. So we're disproving his statement. I suppose he is 14, so he wouldn't have that voice that I've been giving him, but... yeah, I don't know. Sus, but that's gone right over me id. What are you trying to say? Alright, there's like my 4th voice for him. I can't settle on a voice for this guy, I really can't. So now Lucy's explaining that he couldn't have brought the soporific in the wine before. Yep, lid fell on the floor, and if the wine the lid didn't have any of the drug in it, he couldn't have brought it. Couldn't have put it in before he brought the bottle there, of course. Pretty easy to deduce. As to as you've got a great mind. I don't know what... I really have no idea what voice this guy would have, to be honest. Okay, so... Heart being on the same point over and over again. Come on now. Oops. Clear at odds with the evidence. Yes, we already know that. But, so you're not going to put me in prison then? Of course we're not going to put you in prison. You didn't do anything, kid. You never rely on... What does that mean? Oh, now he's a little bit shaken up there. If I'm not inside, he'll get me for sure. I'm dead. Cecina's going to kill me. I don't think you have anything to worry about, guy. Cecina's dead. Yeah. Don't tell me you've never heard of Barbarossa Cecina. Then you know he's a deadly killer. Takes on old gangs and beats the living daylights out of them. That man's single-handedly taken out gangs of more than 1,000. Yeah, probably a slight exaggeration. I don't think one person can take on an army of 1,000 unless you're playing a video game. Oh wait, this is a video game. Well, that's awkward. This is a Professor Layton Brothers game, so I don't think we're gonna have people taking on armies of 1,000. Alright, so he was worried that Cecina would get him for some reason. So he wanted to get in prison to get away from him somehow. But now we finally break the news to him that Cecina is dead. So yeah, we're finally saying that Cecina's dead to him. And he's kind of in disbelief for some reason. Okay, now, okay, so now we... This guy, man. I don't understand. So now he was afraid of him that he was going to go to... He was afraid that he was going to go to... not afraid he was going to go to jail. Afraid that Cecina was going to kill him, and now he's sad that he's dead because he was his hero. Really? Like, that just makes no sense. So he settled down a bit now. Again. He's... of course he's... I don't understand. If you say I have to, miss, I'll tell you what I know. I have to go. It must have been about 3 hours after I made the delivery. I headed back there to pick up the rubbish. It was all part of the service where I work. And he went back to the warehouse where the gangsters were. Okay, so he went back to pick up the rubbish. The trash. I still seen a copping off with that ditty bird. Oh, that's a hilarious line. So he was going at it with some chick, I guess. Oh man. What chick would fall for him though? I mean, like, have you seen his face? He looks like a gorilla. Okay, so apparently Cecina glared at him. And Mr. Mystery here thought he had caught him. And the fact that his glare was so menacing, he thought that he was going to die because of that. But clearly it's not the case, as Cecina is dead at the moment. But apparently the prof believes him. Ah yes, now we're bringing up the puzzle piece that we found earlier that was squashed in his hand, which is a bit inconsistent with the first of the puzzle... what were they called? What were they called? Why can't I remember what they were called now? I can't even remember what the killings were called. The puzzle killings. Whatever, yeah. Well, if he wasn't... Yes. It was kind of an easy thing to deduce. If the puzzle piece was in his hand, it must mean Cecina was not asleep when he was killed. So that creates another inconsistency in everything here. Short woman. A woman who was spotted and engaged in passionate embrace. So now we have to find signs of a woman at the scene. We've already found this. Again, very early on. We're talking about the beads, of course. The beads from the pearl necklace that clearly a man wouldn't be wearing, or I suppose. Maybe Randall Mann might be wearing one. If you don't remember, Randall Mann is the person in the last case who enjoys cross-dressing. Okay, so definitely he's telling the truth, because we have no reason to believe he would lie. I suppose he did lie at the beginning to try and get into prison, but now we have no reason to believe he would lie. Alright, so yes, if Cecina had a female visitor, that does put everything into place, and we have 100% once again. Yes, the woman must have killed Cecina, because that is the only possible option. The woman is looking very dead sus right now. Yeah, Mystery isn't the culprit, of course. Go to meet with Mystery? Yes. So, another unique thing about this case is we don't actually get to meet with the culprit. There is no actual interrogation in this case, it is just talking with Attar about the truth of the case. Alright, so after that someone put a soporific in the wine. You see, there are only two possibilities of who could have put the soporific in the wine. The woman's obvious. The second is obviously, well, I guess sort of obvious. It has to be Cecina. Because if Mystery saw Cecina, then he wasn't dead along with the others. Yeah, so it has to have been Cecina or the last, because it seems like they were working together. And apparently now they're bad news. My mom would do her nut if she caught me snogging like that. She would do her nut? What does that even mean? I mean, I guess I could kind of infer what it means, but it's just so weird saying. She would do her nut. Okay, what are we talking about? Evidence of the scene shows Cecina called somebody. This is the importance of the telephone I was talking about. It says they called a nearby phone booth outside. So Cecina must have called the woman in after he killed the his three comrades. That's a fair crack. Whoever was Cecina is the man. Okay, so maybe we should send him home. The prof agrees. But of course we're not going to do that because Attar objects. He utterly objects. That's not even the right word, use the word. I just really wanted to make a pun there. Alright, so no point in asking him to leave, he's just gonna be stubborn. Alright, Cecina waited for his girlfriend and they started exchanging spit and yeah. He was peeping, he was a peeping recon work. Nice one. I agree, it was definitely more recon work. So Cecina suddenly opened his eyes, yes. Glared at him. But the prof has other ideas of what this glare was, what this glare meant. If you think about it, it's rather obvious what it was. Alright, so there's three little mysteries. Three little mysteries, yes. Who killed Cecina? When did they get a soporific? And how did the room end up being locked? So, basically, we have to solve those three mysteries during the course of this talk here. Right, so he wouldn't have drugged himself. So now we have to figure out how the soporific got into Cecina. Not at the moment right now. First of all, who killed Cecina? That one's pretty obvious. It was obviously the woman. The only person that makes any sense. Because the other guys were dead. He didn't kill himself, so... yeah, it had to have been the woman. That was a fairly obvious one. Alright, so yeah, position the wound means he ruled suicide because he was stabbed in the back. That's rubbish! They're snogging like lovebirds. There's no way it was her. Alright, so... yeah, so... must have had motives. Some motive. Ah, okay, so he must have witnessed the very moment when he was killed. Think about it. If he had his eyes open suddenly... no, he wasn't glaring at him. He was writhing in pain after being stabbed with the knife. So he wasn't going to kill you, Attar. He was just in massive pain. Alrighty. Alright, so yes. Why he opened wide at the shock. He's saying I actually saw Barbarossa Cecina get murdered? Sick. I always want to say an Italian accent whenever I say their name, even no matter who it is. Okay, so now it's time to figure out how Cecina got the soporific into his mouth. Well, if you think about it, it's kind of obvious. How could the woman have gotten it in his mouth? Oh, come on, Lucy. You're not that stupid. It's gonna be impossible. We already have evidence. Well, I wouldn't say we have evidence. I would say we have a statement that refers to the fact of how it happened. You know, they were kissing apparently, like the whole time, so that's how the soporific must have been administered to him. Yes, it was the kiss, of course. Very interesting way, I suppose. Very, kind of a, not really unique, but kind of a classic, you know, like the woman slips the poison into his mouth with a passionate kiss. I guess it's not classic, but whatever. So that's how she did it. She kissed him and put the soporific into his mouth. Alright, so now we have to solve the mystery of the locked room. How was it locked and who locked it? Who locked the door? Probably the hardest out of all of them. It was Cecina himself. It's the only thing that really makes any sense. After being stabbed by the woman, he would have wanted to escape her. I guess not really escaping. Well, yes, that's the option here, to escape the woman. But he would have tried to, like, I guess, push her out the door and then lock the door inside. Although I guess the more logical option is to run outside. Yeah, I guess he was literally stabbed in the back. Alright, so he shut himself in the room to get away from the attacker. He fled inside, yes. They struggled, that's when the necklace broke. Very conveniently, of course. A couple beads fell through the doorway, and Cecina slammed it shut and locked it. Alright, so she couldn't get the beads back even if she wanted to. How come he still died? Well, he was stabbed in the back with a poisoned knife. Right, so now Utter's saying it would make more sense for him to run out of the building. But Uttar himself was standing outside the building, so he wouldn't have wanted to run at him. Normally, he wouldn't care. I mean, he is like only 14, and Barbarossa is 39. But seeing as if he was stabbed, he wasn't stabbed a lot. He stabbed once, but he had just been stabbed. He did not want to. Any stranger would have just alarmed him, so he would have. His escape route would have been blocked, and the door would have been shut. So in that picture we see a woman with blonde hair. A nice hairdo there. The knife in the back is kind of an odd touch, but alright, so yeah, the knife was laced with the poison, so even if he would have got out, he would have died. I guess they would have been noticed earlier, but that's it. So where did the puzzle piece come from? Well, the hypothesis is that the woman put the puzzle piece in a coat pocket or something of the like. And Cecina found it and realized that the woman was going to kill him all along, and so he crushed it in a final fit of rage. That's the theory. What a hero, eh? Barbarossa, Cecina, the world's not going to be the same without you. But for as long as I live, I'm going to tell everyone this story, so everyone knows what a hero he was, eh? Why is everyone saying A? Like, did they say A? And I don't remember people saying A a lot in Britain. I didn't think that was a thing. Alright, we gotta get the report. This mystery solved. A little bit of a video glitch there, but that's the end of the mystery. So like I said, you don't actually get to talk with the culprit in this case, because this is the start of sort of an ongoing theme of the jigsaw puzzle killings, and the blonde woman and such. About the woman then, just as much of a mystery. Okay, so it appears that, okay, so apparently there had been a lass that Cecina was seeing, but no one's seen hide or hair of her since. Not a sausage. What? What? A sausage? Really? What kind of... what is that even... what does that even mean? Anyways, apparently she was creepy looking and looked like a ghost, but when you look at her, like when you see her later in the game, spoilers, you see her later in the game, she doesn't actually look that creepy. So, whatever. Alright, so this case closed, but she won't be resting easy there. Alright, so we've done what we can. Alright, Lucy's not consoled by that. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. The culprit mimicked a series of cases that happened 4 years ago, And that the fact that the cases were never released to the public. So how would they know about this? Very interesting. We'll find out soon enough. Okay, so we have a little scene here with the commissioner and the alternate personality, Layton. Exemplary. You lots really are simple, aren't you? You're not offending. It's not over. What are you talking about? The Jigsaw Puzzle killings, 4 years on and they're still happening. Each of these murders are the copycat of one of the 4 original Jigsaw Puzzle killings. The pieces that were left behind in each case are identical. What? Just 2 pieces left. Look. It's going. Ooh, does the killer plan to take 2 more victims? Yes. But who? Very interesting ending there. What could happen? Kind of leaves you in suspense a little bit. So this was kind of the case that kind of sparked my intrigue for the rest of the game. But this is it. This has been it, guys. This has been Smileyz. I do hope you enjoyed this part. Please leave a like rating if you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time for case number 7, The Mystery.